Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimakong.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you Chapter 1, Section 2 of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
S.
Ah.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Arthur Conan Doyle. Chapter 1, Section 2. Insensibly one begins to twist facts to suit theories, instead of theories to suit facts. The note itself. I carefully examined the writing and the paper upon which it was written. The man who wrote it was presumably well-to-do, I remarked, endeavouring to imitate my companion's processes. Such paper could not be bought under half a crown a packet. Peculiar, that is the very word, said Holmes. It is not an English paper at all. I did so, with a small T woven into the texture of the paper. What do you make of that? Asked Holmes. The name of the maker? No doubt. Or his monogram? Not at all. It is a customary contraction like Arco, P of course. Took down a heavy brown volume from his shelves. Hello. Iglanets here we are. Area. It is in a German-speaking country in Bohemia, not far from Carlsbad. Remarkable as being the scene of the death of Wallenstein, and for its numerous glass factories and paper mills. All. My boy. What do you make of that? His eyes sparkled, and he sent up a great blue triumphant cloud from his cigarette. The paper was made in Bohemia, I said. Precisely. And the man who wrote the note is a German. All quarters received. A Frenchman or Russian could not have written that. It is the German who is so uncourteous to his verbs. It only remains, therefore, wearing a mask to showing his face. And here he comes, if I am not mistaken. They gulped, followed by a sharp pull at the bell. Holmes whistled. Appel. By the sound, said he. Yes, he continued, glancing out of the window. A nice little femme and a pair of beauties. 150 guineas apiece. There's money in this case. Watson. I think that I had better go. Not a bit. Doctor. Stay where you are. I am lost without my Boswell. And this promises to be interesting. Never mind him. I may want your help. And so may he. Here he comes. Sit down in that armchair. Doctor. A slow and heavy step, which had been heard upon the stairs and in the passage, paused immediately outside the door. Then there was a loud and authoritative tap. Come in, said Holmes. Out. With the chest and limbs of a Hercules. His dress was rich with a richness which would, in England, be looked upon as akin to bad taste. Heavy bands of astrakhan were slashed across the sleeves and fronts of his double-breasted coat. Barrel. Boots which extended halfway up his calves, and which were trimmed at the tops with rich brown fur, completed the impression of barbaric opulence which was suggested by his whole appearance. He carried a broad brimmed hat in his hand, while he wore across the upper part of his face, extending down past the cheekbones. A black-visored mask, which he had apparently adjusted that very moment, for his hand was still raised to it as he entered. Character with effect. Anion leapt. And Aloud. Straight chin suggestive of resolution pushed to the length of obstinacy. German accent. As if uncertain which to address. Pray take a seat, said Holmes. This is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson, who is occasionally good enough to help me in my cases. You may address me as the Count von Kramm, a Bohemian nobleman. I understand that this gentleman, your friend, is a man of honour and discretion, whom I may trust with a matter of the most extreme importance. If not, I rose to go, but Holmes caught me by the wrist and pushed me back into my chair. It is both, or none, said he. The Count shrugged his broad shoulders. Then I must begin, said he, by binding you both to absolute secrecy for 2 years. At the end of that time the matter will be of no importance. I promise, said Holmes. You will excuse this mask, continued our strange visitor. The august person who employs me wishes his agent to be unknown to you. I was aware of it, said Holmes dryly. The circumstances are of great delicacy. Immense scandal and seriously compromise one of the reigning families of Europe. To speak plainly, the matter implicates the great house of Ormstein. I was also aware of that, murmured Holmes, settling himself down in his armchair and closing his eyes. Our visitor glanced with some apparent surprise at the language. Most incisive reasoner and most energetic agent in Europe. Holmes slowly reopened his eyes and looked impatiently at his gigantic client. If your Majesty would condescend to state your case, he remarked. Agitation. With a gesture of desperation, he tore the mask from his face and hurled it upon the ground. You are right, he cried. I am the king. Why? Indeed, murmured Holmes. Sigismund von Ormstein, Grand Duke of Kassel-Felstein. But you can understand, said our strange visitor, sitting down once more and passing his hand over his high white forehead. Person, without putting myself in his power. Then, pray consult, said Holmes, shutting his eyes once more. The facts are briefly these. Some 5 years ago, during a lengthy visit to Warsaw, I made the acquaintance of the well-known adventurers. Irene Adler. Kindly look up in my index. Doctor, murmured Holmes without opening his eyes. Then, could not have once fresh information, and that of a staff commander who had written a monograph upon the deep sea fishes. Let me see, said Holmes. Oh. Born in New Jersey in the year 1858. To be continued.